ثواب ونوت أمين نفضي نمراتي. We're going to continue discussing the alphabet from last time. And as you can see, this is the 32 letters of our alphabet. And all of them are letters except this 6th letter here is not a letter, it is the number 6. And actually it's no longer used in the Greek language. We're going to go over them briefly again. It's alpha, beta, gamma, delta, E, su, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lavla, mi, ni, xi, o, pi, rho, sigma, tav, epsilon, phi, chi, epsi, o, chi, phi, chi, hori, ganga, chima, t. Now, as you can see, there are 2 colors, and this is actually to indicate what's the origin of the letters. We have 2 origins for the Coptic letters. The blue ones, the sky blue squares, indicate the letters taken from the Greek alphabet, and the Chi, Phi, Chi, the last 7 letters, are taken from the Demotic alphabet. And if we would like to see the origin of this thing, we can see that this is the Coptic alphabet, 26 letters from the Greek and 7 from the Demotic. But if you go back to the original letters, we'll find that originally the hieroglyphic developed in Egypt about 5,000 years ago was the origin of all Coptic letters. The last 7 are directly from the Hieratic and the Demotic and then the Coptic. So it is from the hieroglyph, from the Egyptian alphabets directly. The other 26 are indirectly from the hieroglyphic through what's called Proto-Semitic and other alphabets of Semitic people, and they took these letters from the hieroglyphic as they, many of them were workers in the mines in Sinai. And then it ended up that the Phoenicians took these alphabets and developed their own alphabet. It was 28 letters, and these Phoenician letters are based on the hieroglyphic, but they were very concise and short number of letters. And the Greeks, they took the Phoenician letters. Actually, they not only took the shape of the letters, they took the names also. For example, the first letter, which is alpha, which is aleph in Phoenician, which means the face of the bull. This was taken into the Greek, and they changed the name into aleph, alpha. So aleph in Phoenician became alpha in the Greek. The second letter looked like a house, and that's in the Phoenician it was called beit, which is the same word as in Arabic, means house. And the Greek took this letter and they called it beta. And so on, like the 4th letter, delta. This is in Phoenician, means the door to a tent, which looks like a triangle. And the Greeks took this letter and called it delta, and so on. So the Greeks took the Phoenician alphabet, but they added to them some of the letters. They used them as vowels. Since the Phoenicians did not have vowels, the hieroglyphic did not have vowels, the hieratic and demotic did not have vowels. But the Greeks added the vowels by using certain letters from Phoenician alphabet to indicate vowels. So this changed the complexion of a language so that there are vowels in the language. So the Copts, when they took the Greek letters then, they took these letters which are originally from hieroglyphic. So the 26 letters were not taken directly from the Egyptian alphabets, indirectly through the Proto-Semitic and Phoenician and finally Greek, and we took it. So this is as of the origin of the the Coptic alphabet. Here I want to look at the vowels in the Coptic alphabet, and there are 7 vowels here. The first one is the alpha, and it's pronounced A, as we said before, and then the E, and pronounced A, and then the one looks like the English H, it is E, long E. The iota is E, so this eta here is as if there are 2 iotas attached together, and then there is the O, short O, and the long O, which looks like a W, and then the epsilon, which is pronounced like the iota. It is E also. So the vowels in Coptic involved these 7 letters. Once again, are alpha, E, eta, iota, O, epsilon, and the long O, the O, long O. We will take a little break, and we will be back in a few minutes. Nofri again, and we will continue with the alphabet and observations about the alphabet, and as we were discussing the vowels. There are a few observations here I want to mention, and that is sometimes people try to write Coptic in Arabic or English letters, and this causes a problem, and I'll show you how. In Arabic, we have only 3 vowel sounds. They are the A, E, and U. So when you write the Coptic in in Arabic, you're missing 4 of the vowels, because in Coptic we have A, E, O, and U. So the O are 3 of them. The E are 2 of them, different. This is E, short E, and this is long E. This one is O and U. So there's the distinction between these. The last 2, one of them is A, and one is A. So when you try to write in Arabic, and you have a word that has an A and A, the A, you don't know how to write it, because in Arabic there's no corresponding vowel, so you have to have it written either as an A or an E, and this will confuse the words and will give even different meaning for many words, especially the O, because we have 3 different O's, and there's a word in Coptic called U, O, U, and it has to be U, O, U, means glory. Now in Arabic, you write it U, 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 or O, O, O. You can't write it to pronounce U, O, U. How about the English? In English, the vowels in English don't give the same consistent sound. I'm just putting here some examples. For example, the 2 O's next to each other. They can pronounce U, like the word broom, but in the word blood, it is A, and there are 2 O's. And the roof, so you have broom, blood, roof, and each one of them is different. So when you write this in Coptic, you wouldn't know which one to use. Also, the OU sound. The OU sound, it could be like ooh, soup, or it could be like sound. So it could be ooh or ow. Even this letter, the U. You see here, when you put it here, put, and it's the same except, you put B instead of the P, it becomes but, not put. So in English, the vowel sounds are not consistent. In Coptic, they are consistent, and that's why the best way is to write Coptic in Coptic, and you pronounce it with the vowels of Coptic. This will make the pronunciation much more accurate. Here we are going to start reviewing briefly the lessons that we took before. So the first lesson, we used these letters, the alpha, which is pronounced A, and A, and E, and the M, which is the me and ni, and the short O, and the P, and the rho, and the tav, which is like T, and the F, and the ganga, which is G or J, depending on the word, and the letter T. And I'll give examples of what these things are. As we said, these are the vowels, the A, E, O, and then the combination of these two letters gives you the vowel sound of oo. Also, if this iota comes after or before another vowel, it's pronounced like the English Y. So alpha and iota would be I. And these consonants, these look like the English ones, the me and ni. This is an M and N, and this is a T, and this is a T with an I next to it, so it's T. This is P, like a sound. This is the R sound, which is the rule, and this is the F sound, like a phi, and this letter, which is the ganga, it is either pronounced G, like the word go, or J, like Jim. And these are the words that we took, and we're going to review them briefly now. Nofri means high, Nofri high, and Ugai, Ugai. So Nofri, Ugai, Ugai means by. So, and these three words here, which my beloved, for the masculine, if you are talking to a boy or a man, it's Pam and Rit. If it is a girl, it is Tam and Rit. If it is for plural, a group of people, you're telling them, my beloved, it's Nam and Rati. So you can say, Nofri, Pam and Rit. It's hi, my beloved. Nofri, Tam and Rit. Nofri, Nam and Rati. Or if you are leaving, then Ogai, Pam and Rit. Ogai, Tam and Rit. Ogai, Nam and Rati. This concludes this lesson, and we will be back next time. Ogai.